Hi, good morning. Good morning. This is Dr. Vern. Welcome to Touchdown Thursday. Today is Thursday, Touchdown Thursday. Touchdown hashtag Dr. Vern, hashtag Real Talk. Come on in. I'm so glad that you joined me this morning. And I'm even more excited because you're inviting someone else to come on in. You're telling someone else and you're reaching out and you're pulling them in and you're telling others and they're telling others. And I truly appreciate that because we come together on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings at 6 a.m. and we sit and we have our inspiration and our motivation, our devotional of sorts. In the morning on Tuesdays at 6 a.m. and on Thursdays at 6 a.m. And we are being encouraged to do something. We're being encouraged to complete a challenge, something that we had set out to do perhaps at the beginning of the year. And we kind of fell off. You know, things happen, stuff happens, and you fall off. And so we said that we were determined to achieve something. Whatever it is, it was your choice, no matter how big, how small, it was totally up to you to do so. And I just thank God for you. God is with us because God is in us. Yes, God is with us because God is in us. And they that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Yes, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'm just glad you're here today. I'm just glad you're here today, and you are as well as you are. Thanksgiving's next week, and we are thankful. We're grateful. Not because it's Thanksgiving next week. We're better than that. We're grateful every day. We're grateful for all of the manifold blessings that God has bestowed upon us. We're grateful for everything that God has withheld from us. Yeah, we're grateful for all that God has given us, and we're so grateful for all that He has withheld from us. Many of us have been through some stuff. Many of us have been through some trials, tribulations, some illnesses. Many things we've gone through, some losses. But God has kept us, and God is yet keeping us. I want you to know in this season is almost set up to bring back the pain and the hurt, the things that we have had to let go, or the things that have walked away from us. But I want to encourage you, hold your head up, stand. And when you've done all you can do to stand, continue to stand. Because guess who's in your corner? Guess who has you? They that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. God has you. He's abiding in you as well as you abiding in Him. So, you know, you are in a good place. But today is Thursday. Today is Thursday, and we're going to continue to speak on those things that can hinder us from getting to that place that we want to be, or where we want to reach to by the end of 2023. And so we want to be cognizant of the fact that there are many elements out there, many elements out there that have been thrown our way to distract us or to prevent us from being all that we can be, and prevent us from achieving all that we can achieve. So today we're going to be talking about, sometimes we set up our own ridicule. Oftentimes you feel like you can't achieve a thing. Sometimes you feel like there's no point in even attempting, because the outcome you've already determined and predicted and dictated your outcome. And I want you to be aware of a couple of things we've talked about. And again, we talked about the doubt. We talked about asking for permission. We talked about the insecurities. We talked about having the spirit of ingratitude. We talked about all of those things. Then we talked about guilt on Tuesday. And today we're going to be talking about the fact that we need to be careful to count the cost. Be careful to count the cost. What do you mean, Doc? Well, I am often amazed at how people go into things and they don't sit down to determine if they have everything, all of the elements, all of the tools, all of the wherewithal to complete the project. It's sort of like what Jesus was saying when He was talking to the people and He was giving them analogies and examples. He was telling them to be very careful. Here in Luke, the 14th chapter, He was telling the people to be very careful that you don't enter in foolishly. That you don't enter in foolishly. Well, what does He mean? Luke 14, let's go there. Luke, the 14th chapter, verses 28 through 30. It says, "For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it. Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, "This man began to build and was not able to finish." For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it will begin to mock him, saying, "This man began to build and was not able to finish." Oftentimes, we are not able to achieve and reach our goal is because we did not sit down to determine if it was feasible. Now, here Jesus is talking about following him, making everything in our lives subordinate to him. And he was talking about the fact that you have to weigh out the cost. You have to weigh out what you're going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up selfishness. You're going to have to give up deceitfulness. And you're going to have to give up not loving your brother, not loving anyone outside of yourself. He said there's some things that you're going to have to move away from in order to follow me. There are going to be some times where you're going to be persecuted. And so this is what Jesus was talking about. But you can liken this to anything that we do in our lives. We must sit down and count the cost of what we're trying to achieve. If we don't, guess what? We lose. So what are you willing to put in? How much time, how much energy, how much passion? Can you or will you? Can you? Will you? Don't create your own ridicule. What do I mean? Don't create your own ridicule, meaning that don't begin a project that you know you weren't capable of completing, knowing that you didn't have the resources, knowing that you didn't have the ability to complete. Make sure that you're willing to put in some time, because it takes time to complete or perfect the thing. Make sure you're willing to put in some time. Make sure you're willing to expend the energy that it takes. It's going to take some energy. Make sure that you're willing to expend that energy that it's going to take for you to reach that goal. And make sure that you do it with some passion. Have some passion and show some passion in it. Put your wherewithal in it. Put your whole being in it. Work at it from your heart as you would as unto Christ. When you begin to count to see if you have the resources and the tools to do that thing, and you know that God is with you because he's in you, and you know that you are not going to set up your own ridicule by starting a project that you can't complete. Who goes on a trip without making sure that they have enough money to meet the needs that that trip would demand? Who gets in the car and begins to drive without assessing first whether or not they have enough gas to get them where they're going? Who sits in a chair without looking to see if the bottom is there? Who does that? Not many. Not many. So I just came to let you know today that, don't create your own ridicule. You can. Can you? Will you? Count the cost. And when you count the cost and see that you can and it is possible, then go for it with everything in you. With everything in you. Do not be a shadow boxer. Do not be a shadow dweller. Stand out in the crowd, make some noise, and go for that thing like you have never, ever been there before. This is Dr. Vern. I want you to have a great weekend. Know that you're able to do anything that you desire to do because God is with you and God is in you. And they that dwell in the secret place of the Most High will always abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And Jesus wants you to be subordinate to him in everything that you do. He says, humble yourself and he will exalt you in due time. I believe that. I'm standing on that, and I'm standing with you. So we affirm today that we're not getting ready to try to achieve something that we know we can't. We're going at that we know that God has equipped us to do, has provided resources for us to achieve it, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with vigor. We're going to do it with passion. Is that right? God bless you. This is Dr. Vern. You have a great weekend. Bye now.